live and let's start. Okay, so hello again, everybody. My name is Maria. I'm happy to start today the workshop, which is called Synthetic Intelligence. So hello again, everybody. Oops, my name is Maria. Sorry, my YouTube streaming was repeating me. So that's an amazing set of the workshop, which is organized by Digital Futures team. It's a great consortium, it's a great team, which is creating and promoting free education all around the world. And my colleague Artem Konevskih and myself, we are presenting today, all our ideas and agendas, and maybe first of all, the agenda that we are developing at the Synthetic Landscape Lab at the University of Innsbruck, together with Professor Claudia Pasquero, who will also join us within this workshop for the reviews. So we are happy to introduce you some of the techniques that we were developing within the school and within our previous research. Also, we are working together with Artem on one of the projects which is pushing this technique. So so we decided to set up a workshop and bring even more brains into this work. So just maybe introducing myself a bit more, some information. So my name is Maria Kuptsova. I'm originally Russian, but my geography, my personal geography spread around the world. I was living in Barcelona and starting my career in Barcelona at the Institute of Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, and started to actually teach there and do my individual research. Then I moved to Austria and started my PhD together with Claudia Pasquero, and now I am a research associate and doctoral candidate at the Synthetic Landscape Lab at the University of Innsbruck. As well as I have a set of beautiful initiatives back to my home country, back to Russia. We were running with the colleagues of mine several master programs in the Far East. We have a beautiful art initiative, which is called DigitaSenNet, which is also very much located in all different spots around Russia. And also currently I'm running a master program, a specialization of the master program within the Xiaoyi University. It's called Technological Art within the program Art and Science, where we're also working on a similar agenda. I would like to give the word to Artem to introduce himself, maybe briefly.
Yeah, well, my name is Artem. I'm also from Russia, from Moscow. My geography is not that worldwide like Maria's. Yeah, I'm living in Moscow and I studied in Moscow, and I studied computer sciences, and I work as a data scientist. Like first, I applied my knowledge in particle physics. I used to work for Institute for Nuclear Research and for CERN. So I did some data analysis for Large Hadron Collider, and then I switched to urban data, and now I'm working at Strelka KB here in Moscow, and analyzing some urban data and implementing machine learning algorithms for that purposes. Also, I collaborate a lot with artists, especially in the field of artificial intelligence, and we do some stuff like with GANs, with speculative projects like speculative histories and so on. Yeah, and also I'm teaching machine learning for artists. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Artem. It's a great pleasure to work again together. So looking forward to the results. I would ask maybe everybody to start from also a short introduction of yourself. We are not that much, we're just a few people, so I think it won't take long. So if you can switch on your cameras, mute yourself and just give few words so we meet and start making a team together, that would be great. Anais, I see you're first here and with the video, so it's very nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm an architect. I was trained in France, and then I worked in China for about 8 years, and now I'm back in Europe. I'm based in Rotterdam right now, where I came to do a 3-month program on contemporary urbanism at a school called the Independent School for the City. So currently I'm just working on some personal projects. One of them is related more like a digital arts project where we are trying to create a generative and participative mental map of a city. So yeah, but I've never really worked with GANs before, so that's yeah, something I'm interested in exploring and knowing more about right now. So yeah, it's great.
Amazing. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thanks.
Yeah. Katerina, we know you, and I'm very happy to see you in our workshop. You know that we were selecting people absolutely anonymously, so we didn't know who we are selecting. So, and we just saw your profiles, the work that you uploaded, but we didn't know your names, from which country you are. So I'm happy to randomly select you to our workshop. And please introduce yourself as well.
Hi, my name is Kate. Overall, I'm an architect who graduated from master, where I studied digital art. And right now, I'm a product designer in a Russian studio in the far east of Russia. So it's too close to China. That's why now is dark time. Midnight, actually.
Okay. So yeah, it's going to be quite difficult. Well, we'll have different time like during the workshop. So maybe some other days will be a bit more convenient for you. Super. Thank you, Katerina. Really nice to see you. Soto, are you here? Can you also introduce yourself? Hello.
Hello, my name is G. I am a Chilean architect and a botanist, and I'm doing my master in the Bartlett now. So yeah, very nice to see you, all of you guys.
Amazing. Nice to meet you, G. Super. Shangyu, if I don't pronounce your names correctly, please correct me.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, sorry, my camera is... Okay, you see me? I'm Xiaoyi, and I'm studying landscape architecture in Milan for my master degree. And I'm interested in some technical knowledge, so I hope I can study it and apply it in the process of some design, if possible. And actually this year I joined a workshop about the generating the urban street view through the GAN technique. However, it's a pity that the data collection is my main work. So I just know a little things about the GAN technique. So I'm glad to join this workshop. Hope to have a great work with you guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Shangyu. Nice to meet you. That's great.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Super. So, Julia.
Hi, hello.
Hello, Julia.
I'm currently in Romania, but I'm starting my architecture master degree in Delft. And I'm quite passionate about biomaterials and how we can link that with data and like how we can everything about creating a new aesthetic and like embracing the new biomateriality in our life. So I'm happy to be here.
Super. Thank you, Julia. Great to have you. Alina.
Hi, everyone. My name is... yes, nice to meet you again. I'm Alina, and I am an artist with architectural background. And now I'm working like an interdisciplinary artist with with digital technology, as usual. And I'm very interested in biology, in working with living forms, with nature. Yes, and I want to combine my different interests together. Yes. That's why I'm here.
That's absolutely interesting. Thanks, Alina. Nice to meet you. Good to have you. Jennifer?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do hear you.
Okay, so I'm Jennifer Lee, and I'm originally from China, but I'm studying in Melbourne right now, and I just graduated from Bachelor of Architecture, and kind of like taking my gap year and trying to apply for masters in Europe for the next year. So I'm just trying to collect more works to put in my folio, and also I'm always interested in like parametric design, grasshopper stuff, and also I'm just in love with natural patterns and forms. So yeah.
Super. Thank you, Jennifer. That's good. Well, you will achieve your aim. I'm sure that we'll have something cool as an outcome of the workshop. So yeah, thank you very much for a short introduction. I think we should have more people. Actually selected, well, it was hard to select people because we had so many applicants, and but I don't see everyone here. I hope that everyone will join in the next days or next hours. So yeah, to continue, maybe I would like to start with the introductory lecture, which will help you to understand the agenda that we are developing, and also which will give it a short intro to the course itself now. And I have sent you the schedule of the workshop, so probably you already understand the structure of the workshop, that we will start working first with a gun technique, now starting to analyze the biological matter with the gun techniques, and then we will go through the 3D modeling and the setting up the this kind of drawings of the works as the final outcome. So let me share my screen to start giving you a short presentation of the things that we are doing, and I think you kind of have much more understanding of our work that we will be working in the workshop, so it will be quite clear for you. Do you see my screen? Yep, super. Yeah. So we call our workshop synthetic intelligence. So what do we mean by this synthetic intelligence? It's basically, I think I will come to that, and maybe you will answer to this question. I strongly believe that nowadays we live in the moment when our biological creatures and digital bits are becoming the same. Now we are facing the moment when our technology, like for example, synthetic biology, robotics, additive manufacturing, and all the advances in the, on the GNA, even engineering, are allowing us to introduce new tools that, of course, affecting all the fields around design, no? But first of all, artists, architects, and designers, like I would talk about this first of all. No? So basically, this push allows us to develop a new techniques, which are starting to find the relation of the biological means with the digital. So, and I'm giving you a few references as a project now from other disciplines, which are showing us how can we maybe read the intelligence of the biological material in order to start training our digital networks. And that's very much something that we will be developing. I would like to give you a quote of the Yuque now, and maybe advise you to start reading and thinking about the works of Yu Kue. Originally he's from China, but he's based in Frankfurt, if I'm not mistaken, nowadays. And he is opening up this idea of the technodiversity, of the cosmotechniques. He is telling us that the technology is basically changing now its meaning. It's coming from the idea of the mechanism and mechanics and some automation of the processes. Now it comes to the idea of the automacy. It comes to the idea of the technodiversity, where the technology is basically becoming a new biological creature, and which is driven by the logic of the cosmos, of the space. So, and basically, I think this reading of the world is very much reflecting to the current crisis that we are facing nowadays. Health crisis and ecological crisis. And basically, when we look at our planet now, we are not seeing our planet anymore as the biological kind of a creature. No, our landscapes are disturbed and remanufactured by the human activity. And I really like the work of Edward Burtynsky. Edward Burtynsky, he is the photographer and director, and he is working on the beautiful work Manufactured Landscape, where he is taking shots of the kind of, let's call synthetic landscapes, which are not anymore the natural pattern of the landscape, and which is not strictly a human pattern now, but we are looking at the pattern of the landscape as a outcome of the human and the landscape, or in the environment with the biological interaction. And Edward Burtynsky is not looking at that as a disaster, that look, we are basically breaking nature, but he's looking at that as the aesthetical pattern. And I really take this thought and take this kind of vision for myself, that we basically don't anymore come to the problem solving, but we are understanding our effect on the earth, and we are starting to think, how can we co-evolve and co-live together? And the pattern actually here is very interesting, very interesting thing that we are looking at now, because with the pattern, we could basically read, sorry, I have a bit of the different order of the presentation. We could basically read and understand the environment. And Frei Otto is probably the first person who is telling us about that. And but think also about the pattern, and as the in the words of the Gregory Bates, and Gregory Bates, he's an anthropologist, and he's studying the human, and he's studying the relation of the human with environment. And basically by the pattern, he's calling the aesthetics. He's calling the aesthetics is the pattern which connects us with the environment. And that's how he's defining the aesthetics. So basically this pattern is becoming the aesthetical language, which helps us to read the environment and find the relation with the environment. And that's some of the works that we are developing in the Synthetic Landscape Lab together with Claudio Pesquero and Marco Poletto. I would say that for us it's already classics, the classic techniques of the mathematical drawings, which helps us to dig into the knowledge about the landscape, and which helps us to understand the stratum of the landscape as the data storage. Now, if we look into the stratum of the landscape, we could probably think and imagine the information about the topography, about the composition of the soil, about the ice formation, which is storing the information about the time when we were not even present on the planet. With this type of mathematical drawings, what we are trying to do, we are trying to recalculate, depict this information through the set of mathematical patterns, coming from the scale of the landscape and going to the scale of the material, and thinking how does this landscape structured. And for example, if in the previous drawings, we were drawing the glaciers, which are melting and basically storing the information without the particles of the ice, what if we start simulating or rebuilding and analyzing and taking the picture of the patterns of the ice, or coming even changing the scale and thinking on the structure of the ice, because the structure of the ice is basically formed and changed by all the temperature fluctuations, by the pollution which is present in the environment. And the crystal structure is basically formed by the direct input of the environment. And then coming to one of the projects of our diploma students, Matthias Wiener, who is developing a system of interaction with landscape by the means of the small aerial machines. And here we again talking about the property of the material. And we are thinking, how can we change and how can we modify the state of the material? But here is the human is just one of the actors within the design process. Now, we basically set up a strategy for reading, scanning, analyzing the landscape by the means of the small drones, and recalculating this information in order to structure a new synthetic patterns on the landscape in order to make this landscape usable for a human. But what is interesting here, that this material, ice, in the landscape itself, its slope, its conditions, the temperature, the humidity, as well as the machine, which is starting to act on the side, are starting to be a parallel, asymmetrical actors within the design agenda. They basically co-design and co-build this landscape together with us. And we are developing the similar state of the similar ideas. Now also, we were developing in my previous practice at the Institute of Advanced Architecture of Catalonia, where we are looking also to other materials like biorock, for example. Biorock is the material which is originally done and patented for the restoring the coral reefs. So basically, it's artificial coral structure. And what if we start studying, monitoring, and controlling the material organization principles in order to convert it into the design structure, where the property of the material is starting to be one of the elements which is co-designing together with us. And what if we are reading, like we are bringing the same research to the synthetic landscape lab in our diploma students, Miro even, working on the next project with biorock. And again, here by the manipulating the property of each sample of the material, we could start controlling the strength, the volume, the porosity, and the weight of the structure, and starting to imagine the scenarios for the implementation of this type of structure on the landscape. In order to do so, we basically now we learn the intelligence of these biological materials, and in order to implement that, we start to use machine learning and using the cycle gun techniques in order to apply the patterns of the material towards the landscape, and starting to create the proposals for preventing the flooding of one of the islands. I don't tell you now where, I forgot the place. So here is one of the proposals when we also convert the structure, the cycle gun structure, to the three-dimensional morphology. Or what if we are reading the intelligence of the mycelium and starting to create a biodigital design system, where mycelium pattern and mycelium aesthetics start to create a different type of conversation now. And I think here the aesthetic and architecture comes to the state of the post-human. And when I'm every time showing this drawing, everybody is asking me, how did you compute them? What is the algorithm for the computing all this leaf pattern? But that's basically the nature computes. No, we just control, we just learn how to create the artificial scaffolding structures in order to control, monitor, and provoke the growth of the mycelium pattern. Or looking into another intelligent creature, which is Physarum. Physarum polycepharum, well, probably you heard about this guy. He's quite intelligent and starting to rebuild the certain pathways based on the idea of the shortest walk and the base scenarios for its kind of living condition. What if you take the intelligence of the Physarum polycepharum and starting to reprogram our urban landscape based on this intelligence? That's another project of diploma student at the Synthetic Landscape Lab, Thierry Lopez, who is doing the Ceticus experiment, setting up the Physarum game for restructuring the urban landscape. Or jumping the intelligence scale, let's say, what if we are looking into the water pattern as the mechanism for rebuilding the topography and the city pattern and the city fabric? It's a project by Carbini and Enzinger, who I had a great chance to co-supervise his diploma project, and now he's a colleague of mine teaching together with me, and I'm absolutely happy to work with him right now as a colleague. So here, Carbinian is starting with the erosion mechanism to study the properties and the flows of the water in the area in order to propose a system for structuring and manipulating the urban scenarios based on this principle. So basically here is the short diagram to explain you the process. How does the studies of the flow affecting the next step of design, which is based on the, again, style gun principles. I will try maybe to go a bit quicker and come to maybe a project which is suggesting us the strategy for our next experiments. And that's I want to bring you to the forest. It's my doctorate PhD work, and if we look to the forest structure now and these beautiful biological creatures, which are now we are recording the area of St. Petersburg. It's just next to the city. And the wooden structure is widely used in architecture for its aesthetical principles, its ecological principles. Well, basically, I'm sure that all of us now are sitting in the room where half of our furniture is wooden. Now, but I'm fascinated by the wood, not as the kind of industrial material, but I'm fascinated by the heterogeneous properties of the wooden structure. Now, so basically we are using it as homogeneous material, which is basically has just one function of load bearing, but during the living state, now the wooden structure has different properties. Now it's with the fibers that you see more prolongated pattern, it keeps the load bearing. And with the vessels that you see also here, it's more circular pores that you have you see on the picture. The wood is capable to transmit the food, water, and even the information throughout the structure about the pollution, about the amounts of food, amounts of wood in the earth now, and basically it's creating the communication system within the structure. So the style gun technique that Artem was helping me a lot to set up, it's helping us to enlarge this data set of the wooden structure, like of the section cut of the wooden structure, and start thinking how can we enlarge it in order to create thousands, millions of the artificial propositions of this wooden pattern. And basically, by doing so, we are learning the intelligence of this wooden pattern and thinking, okay, what if we extrapolate it? And what if we are starting to base our design principles on this type of pattern? And we, of course, were looking to the different section cuts of the wooden structure in order to understand fully its behavioral properties. And we also found a database which is studying it in absolutely different type of the scale. Now, so that you could maybe stop a bit and observe all this video. And out of this, basically this style gun, now what it creates the latent space. Now, the latent space is all these fakes that you are seeing now on the image. And if we convert the latent vector, is basically the vector which is created in between the 2 points in the latent space. Now, if we convert this latent vector into the Z coordinate, we can start thinking about the 3-dimensional wooden proposal. This one I also wanted to show you. This is the latest iterations that we are doing now, which is the next step that we will be doing also together with you. So as I was saying, that if we convert this latent vector into the Z coordinate, we could start thinking on the new type of the material distribution and starting to create this type of a structure which are voxelated. No? So this basically each of the points from the large point cloud that we generated is converted into the voxel, and starting to think about the idea, how could we print this strategy? How could we start evolving this 3-dimensional material samples now and implement it to the design strategy? We went to the next steps and started to think, how can we convert it, the structure to the tool path for the machine to print. No, and this basically take this as the idea for the bioprinting of this material. And coming to the bioprinting, well, we won't go in our workshop to the physical production, to the prototyping, unfortunately, so I don't go there that much, but basically thinking about this wooden material, how can we rethink the use of the wood now from the extracting methods, now basically when you're extracting the layers of the material, like milling it, how can we come to the additive manufacturing and start reusing the waste of the wood, for example, the wooden powder or wooden dust, and start reprinting it in the new type of structure. We have recently also, we're doing another beautiful experiment at the university, at the UCL Bartlett with the urban morphogenesis lab, where we started to imagine same principles and but scale it up and think, how can we basically look into the intelligence of the landscape, and how could we depict different sets of the structures of the landscape in order to learn them, and start creating a new type of the material distributions in order to shape an architectural or landscape proposals. And here are some of the examples that we were developing using same method. Or if the previous one was mapping again the wooden pattern, here we are mapping the redistribution of algae within the Baltic Sea, and starting to study and think about the possible scenarios of the microalgae circulation distribution in the Gulf of Finland for its extraction and creating a proposal for reusing this algae in the different type of construction. And again, I'm giving you some sets of drawings. So basically, that's the work that I wanted to show you. And here, if you didn't have yet my contacts, you can steal them, and but you all received my email, so you know my contacts. Artem, sorry, you also need to send your Artem's contacts. So yeah, and I think that here I would stop. I have some other experiments that I skipped and I wanted maybe to show you. But let's maybe not confuse you, because maybe it will be too much of information if I go to the different strategy. I don't see anybody, but I hope that you're still here with us, and if you can keep with the cameras, that would be actually great. So yeah, so that's, I think, the last steps that I was showing you, that I was introducing you. They are presenting the strategy for our work now, that we will start working with a different type of the database now that we will collect and start to study. And we propose to work on the micro scale of the biological matter and start studying the biological matter. We have prepared for you a set of the database that you could be working with, and then we will go through the style gun techniques for training it and thinking how do we actually start to create this material samples. And after all, as the, let's say, second step of the, well, the third step, first is the collection, second the style gun, and third one, we will work on the recreation of this new type of materiality and coming to the design structures and coming to the setting up the drawing, out of the our 3D models. So that's our plan for the workshop. I hope that now nobody will disconnect and say that's okay, that's not what I was expecting. I hope that it sounds fun to you. And yeah, I open now the time for the questions. What do you think? Give me your feedback. Any feedback that you have in your mind, feel free to say. Critique is also accepted, and any questions are very welcome. Don't be shy, please. We good? Yeah. Okay, Artem just send us his accounts and social networks. I will, you know what I will do? I will correct myself. I will do this. While you're thinking on your questions. Okay, I will do again the sharing of my screen to show you and how to contact us. So here you could find us in these emails and these addresses in all the social networks if you want to catch us. And yeah, just if you don't have any questions, I was actually planning just to have a discussion and ask you what do you think. And but today we don't have much things to do. We just had a day to brainstorm, to understand. I think I see that Yuxi, right? Or how did I pronounce it correct? Yuxi.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that you also join us. It's very nice to meet you. If you want, just introduce yourself very briefly because we were doing it in the beginning.
Yeah, actually, I haven't received an email, so that's why I joined a bit late. So I'm a product designer, to say. I just graduated from my master a few months, actually this month. And I'm currently located in China, and that's basically about me.
Super. Okay. Thank you. If you haven't received the email, please check if you provided the correct email address to the Digital Futures account.
I think I have the right email address there, but I don't know what's being.
Anybody else didn't receive the email?
Yeah, I checked the mailbox and yeah, nothing's there.
Yeah. All others, did you have problems with email?
I mean, mine was in the spam folder. I got it a little bit early.
Yeah, same for me. It was in the spam, so I had to look for it. I thought it wasn't sent.
Now
I couldn't find it.
Okay, now I understood why we are not everyone is online. Okay, it's very sad that this happened, but I will try to maybe write individual email again to everybody who didn't connect today. And also, please remember that we are streaming on YouTube at the account of the Synthetic Landscape Lab, and it's also there in the page. So you could always rewatch everything because it will be constantly published. So you could, everything that you lose, you can catch up later on. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, if you find anything in your mind now. If not, So basically the next class that we will be doing will start tomorrow. And for tomorrow, we will need to be already hands-on. You would need to have your computers ready. Artyom, do you have any suggestions for tomorrow?
Yeah, also we will tomorrow we will work with style gun and we will prepare data and train the style gun with this data. And we will do it in Google Collaboratory. It's a cloud platform for running the Python scripts and machine learning scripts. So please be sure that you have Google accounts. If you need Google Drive for that, and also I will teach you how to use this collaboratory and do the stuff there.
Yeah, so basically for tomorrow, we don't need that much of things to be installed, and for the day after tomorrow as well. But for the day 4, we would need to hack your computers if you still don't have installed Rhino and Grasshopper. Please do it. Please install. I sent you the link, and I suggest you to work on Windows, because if you have a Mac site for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, it will work, but you will have a certain limitations in the visual coding because not all the plugins will be there. But if there's no chance to install Windows, okay, we will see how to figure out something, don't worry. But I would suggest you to work with Windows. So I also see that Dani joined us. Dani, Andreas, hello. Yeah, we are today a bit overlapping with the ceremony of the opening, and I know that maybe not everybody received the message for a certain reason. Dani, do you want to introduce yourself very shortly, that we also know you? Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
My name is Dani. I'm from Colombia. I'm an architect and also an urban designer. And right now I'm professor in 2 universities here in Colombia.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It will be great to share the knowledge.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. So Dani, Yuxi, sorry for I don't know, we already completed the lecture, like the introductory discussion, but we recorded it so you could see it later on. Actually, for today, I think we are done. We are much earlier finishing than it was expected because we don't have much of the questions and discussions. So now, I don't know, we are basically just open for any of the questions, any of your feedback, if you have so. If not, we could close the day and get ready for tomorrow. Okay, all was clear? Super. So we will see each other tomorrow. Artyom will start the day. So looking forward. Bye-bye.